Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. This is King of Mathematics. Here, I want to look at methods of solving simultaneous equation. The first one that I will be using is the method I call, that's the elimination method. Elimination method. Most learners use this elimination. So let's see how to use that. You have 5x minus 6y equals 7 and 2x, let me divide it into 2, and 2x minus 7y equals minus 11. Call this equation 1, call this equation 2. You now think of which one you want to eliminate. For me, I want to eliminate x. So you can, in another place, and why do I want to eliminate x? Because the values are smaller, 5 and 2, 6 and 7. That will give me, the coefficient here of x here is 5, coefficient of x here is 2, coefficient of y is 6, coefficient of y is minus 7. This is minus 6 rather. So I will now say equation 1 multiplied by opposite of what LCM of 5 and 2 is 10. So what will I multiply by 5 to give me? That's equation 1 by 2, equation 2 by 5. You multiply, so that now give us 5x times 2 minus 6y times 2 equals 7 times 2. Then you have 2x times 5 minus 7y times 5 equals minus 11 times 5. On the long run, we now have 10x minus 12y equals 14. And here we give us 10x as well minus 35y equals minus 55. Call this equation 3, call this equation 4. Hope you're following. Okay, once you've done that, then we can now eliminate. How can I eliminate 10x, 10x? I can't add all through because if you add, it's going to give you 20. So you now say subtract all two. Minus, minus, minus. So now be 10x minus 10x minus 12y. This is minus and minus. That will give us plus 35y equals, write 14 first, minus and minus again, that's plus 55. So this, we cancel this, minus 12, this is the same thing as 35y minus 12y. And this one you add 4 plus 5, that's 9, 1 plus, that's 69. Then when you subtract this one, you see that what you are left with 23. This 23, y equals 69. Then y equals 69 divided by 23. That means y will equal to, how many times will 23 go in 69? If you check it properly, you see is that is 3 times. So y equals 3. Now, since y is equal to 3, what you are going to do is now solve y equals to 3 in equation 1. It's either you substitute in 1 or 2. You can't put it in 3 because that's not the initial equation you are given. So I'm using it in equation 1, which will give me 5x minus 6y equals 7. By the time I substitute that, that's 5x minus 6 times 3 equals 7. 5x, this is minus what? 18. 6 times 3 is 18 equals 7. Then 5x will equals to 7 plus 18. Why? Because this is moving to the other side. And when a number moves from one side to another side, the sign changes. So having done that, what you now have is 5x equals 25. And x equals to 25 divided by 5. X equals to 25 divided by 5 will give us 5. Therefore, x equals 5 and y is equal to 3. This is using elimination method. That's using elimination method. But mind you, let's see another method in solving this, because I will just show us three methods. There are different methods of solving, but I will show you three. So out of these three, you can now choose which one you want to use for your own simplification. You can now choose which one you want to use. So let me rub this off. Still the same question, and don't forget the value is 5 and 3. So let's see, if we use another method, are we still going to get the same answer? So this method, I call it substitution method. Substitution method. So what will you do? You will now make one of them the subject of the formula from the equation. So since 5x minus 6y is equal to 7, therefore I can say 5x equals to 7 plus 6y. If I call this one equation 1, equation 2. So 7 plus 6y. Now make x the subject of formula. X will be equals to 7 plus 6y divided by 5. And now substitute. Sub in equation 2. That will now give me 2 into bracket 7 plus 6y all over 5. Then minus 7y equals minus 11. Then you open the bracket. This will give us 2 into bracket 7 plus 6y all over 5 minus 7y over 1 equals minus 11 over 1. You can do a general LCM. The LCM is 5. So I want everything to turn to just one fraction. So the LCM of 5, 1 and 1 is 5. So I'll just have this. So I'll multiply everything by 5. So multiply all through by 5. So this will now give me 2 into bracket 7 plus 6y over 5 times 5 minus 7y over 1 times 5 equals minus 11 over 1 times 5. This will cancel this. I will be left with 2 into bracket 7 plus 6y minus 35y. This is 5 equals, this will give us minus 55. Then 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 6 is what? 12y minus 35y equals minus 55. Collect like terms. This will now give us, transfer this one to the other side, or probably let's bring this one there. 14 plus 55 will be equals to, then let's say minus 12 minus 35 will give you minus 23y equals 0. Transfer this one, you have 69 minus 23. Let's first have this equals 0. Then 69 will be equals to 23y. Y equals to 69 divided by 23, which is equal to 3. Now solve 3 in, I made an equation. I should have called this one equation 3. So in equation 3, which will now give me s equals to 7 plus 6y over 5, which is 7 plus 6 into bracket 3 over 5, which will give you 7 plus 6 times 3 is 18 all over 5, which is 25 over 5, and that will give us s equals 5. Therefore, s equals to 5, y is equal to 3. So that's method 2 for someone that wants to use substitution method. Now the third method that I'm going to use is the method we call that method that method was actually gotten from matrices, and that method is called Cramer's rule. So Cramer's rule, using matrix to solve simultaneous equations. So let's see how to do that. So this is method 2, substitution method. For those of us that are very good with matrix, so method 3, let me say matrix method, or you call say Cramer's rule. Let's see how this will go. If you want to write this in matrix form, you introduce a bracket. You have 5 minus 6, 2 minus 7. Then you now write this. What are the unknowns that we are looking for? That's x and y. Then equals to the result, which is 7 and 11. So according to Cramer's rule, if you want to solve this question to get the unknown, the first thing you need to do is to find what we call determinant. Find the determinant of this one. Find determinant, which will give us, and determinant is going to be, you multiply this by this, then subtract it from it. So determinant of 2 by 2 will now be depth equals to 5 times minus 7 minus 2 times minus 6, which will give us minus 35 minus 2 times minus 6 will give us minus 12, right? So it will give us minus 12. So minus 12 times minus, that will now be plus 12. And if you do this one, it will give you minus 23. So that's the determinant. So once you've gotten the determinant, the next thing is to find the inverse, because for Cramer's rule is saying that your answer, your x and y is equal to this one, this matrix, 5 minus 6, 2 minus 7, inverse, then times result. So, and if you want, the major reason why I said you have to find the determinant is because you need the determinant under your inverse. When you are dealing with inverse of 2 by 2 set, you first need the determinant, because inverse itself, anything inverse, if you have a equals something, so a inverse is always equals to, let's say, okay, let's imagine that this matrix, let's imagine that this is matrix A equals to 5 minus 6, 2 minus 7. So A inverse is equal to the determinant, 1 all over determinant, then times, open bracket, you now do this one, the inverse, if you do this one, is now going to be, you change it, you interchange them, which is going to be minus, for the inverse, that's minus, let me put this as A, B, C, D. So this will now be D, then you change it A, then you have minus C and minus D. So that is the reverse of it. Then before you now multiply it with whatever you have over there. So I don't know if you are getting the point I'm driving at now. So once you now know this thing, and we've gotten our determinant to be minus 1 over, so that means to get this 5, sorry, 5 minus 6 2, so this is 1 all over debt, sorry, yeah, so 5 2 minus 6 minus 7, to find the inverse will now be equals to, that will give us open bracket, you interchange it, you know I said d, and d is d, that's going to be minus 7, then you bring your 5 here, then this 2 you put minus, that's minus 2, then this 6 minus minus 6 will give us 6. So that's that, we've gotten that part. So to now have the final answer for that, which will now give us 1 all over minus 23 into bracket minus 7 6 minus 2. So these are our x and y, then 6 and 5, this is times, then also times, that's 7 11. So in this case you now do your multiplication of matrices. For those of us that don't know how to do multiplication of matrices, so we are going to do multiplication of matrices. So anytime you are asked for a question like this, the way you go about it is this: the inverse of this set is 1 over determinant, then you interchange it this way. So that's how we find it. So inverse of this set, sorry, you don't have to put this one here, because inverse of this set is 1 over determinant times this. So let's now multiply this one and see what is going to give us. So we now have s over, sorry, sy to be equals to 1 over minus 23, then we have open bracket, 7 times 7, that's minus 49, then plus 4 6 plus 6 times 11, that's 66, then minus 2 times 7, that's minus 14, then 5 plus 5 times 11, that's 55. What we've done is minus 7 times, that's minus 49, 6 times 6 times, that's 66. So we have minus 2 times 7, that's minus 14, and 5 times, hey, sorry, there's minus here. This one is 7 minus 1, minus 11, minus 11. So I should not go and make that mistake. So this is 7 times 7, then this will be minus 66. 7 minus 7, that's minus 49, this is minus 66. This minus 2 times 7 minus 14, 5, this is minus 55. So let's now see what it's going to give us. 1 all over minus 23 into bracket 49 and 40 and 60, we know that will give us 40 and 60 will give us 100 and 9. So this we have minus 115, then we have minus 69. So therefore this is x, y. X will now be equals to, if you divide this thing by, that's 115 divided by 23, let's see, 23 times 5, 5 times 3 is 15, keep 1, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1, that's 11. So and 23 times 3, 23 times 3 will give us 69. So therefore I can write this as, and don't forget this minus, because we are dividing, so we have minus 115 divided by minus 23, which will give us 5. So I can write sy to be equals to 5. Then we also have minus 69 divided by minus 23. So this one will give us 3, and that's 3. So that is using Cramer's rule to solve the question. But for some of you that you are looking at this, that this is too hard or too long, if you don't want to follow the matrix method, don't forget the law to get your x and y. X and y is going to be the inverse of the matrix. This is the matrix times the result. And what's inverse? Inverse is 1 over determinant, then you interchange this, then you put minus in that. That is how to do inverse of 2 by 2 matrix. So let me now show you a shorter way of doing this. It's still grammar rule, but you just do like a formula that we just use directly. So let me run this one off. I want to believe you've seen this. So you just, if you master this law, it's still Cramer's rule, it will be easier. You know this equation is written in the form. This is, so I will now call it ax minus b minus by equals, let me call this one p, and let me call this one cx, then let me call this one dy equals q. So I'm using different letters. I'm using different letters to give you the formula. So the reason why I'm using A and B is because this coefficient and this one are never the same. I'm using C and because they are not the same as well. So to get your x, note that your x is always equals to, you multiply this one by this. It will multiply the one of the, so this is going to give us p, like the coefficient. You multiply this p by the coefficient here, so that's p d. Then you always subtract minus then q times b, that's qb, or you say bq. Let me say qb all over, then we multiply. So don't forget this one is like this all over, then you add this one, a times d, that's ad, then minus cb, that's your value of x. If you don't believe, let's use this formula and see whether it's going to give us the answer or not. So let's get our values. A is equal to what? 5. Our b is equal to minus 6. Our c is equal to 2. Our d is equal to minus 7. So that means our x and our p is equal to 7. Our q is equal to minus 11. Therefore, x is equal to pq. That's 7 times pd rather. What's d? 7 times minus 7 and minus q. That's into bracket minus 11. What is our d? Minus 6. You understand? They are multiplying each other. All over AD. What's AD? That's 5 times minus 7, then minus, what is CB? CB is what? CB, that's 2 times bracket minus 6, which will give us x to be equal to minus 49. Then 11 minus 11, that's minus what? Minus 66. This one give us plus 66, then this one, that's minus 66. All over 5, that's minus 35. And this one is, so This is going to give us minus times minus, that's plus, that's 12. This is going to give us minus 115 all over minus 23. And you have your x to be equals to what? Cancel 23 here 1, 20 here 5, and x is equal to 5. As simple as that. Also, if you are looking for your y and you want to get your y, here is the formula to use. Y is always equals to the same way. You know, we started with p the other time, saying p. So here, because we are looking for, and when we are looking for x, we first use our product on y. So when we are looking for y now, we use our product on x, the values of x, which is a and c. So this one will now be aq, a times q, that's aq, or you call it qa, q multiplied by a, qa minus pc, all over is still be the same thing as ad minus cb. Let's confirm if this is clear. Y will now be equals to, what's q? Q is minus 11. Minus 11 times what's a? 5. Then minus, what's our p? 7. What's our c? 2. That's times 2 all over this. On the long run will still give us 5 times minus 7 minus 2 times bracket minus 6, which will give us minus 55 minus 12 minus 14 all over minus 35. Then this one will give us plus 12. That will give us minus 69 all over minus 23. And that's our y. Our y equals to cancel. That will give us what? 69 divided by 3, that's what? 3. Therefore, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 3. So I hope this video is helpful to you. Until the next video that I will be dropping, is still your boy, King of Mathematics. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel, or probably follow us if you are not following us before. Until the next video, I say bye.